I was found dead from an overdose, flatline, no pulse, and somehow I came back. Today, I got up at 4 a.m., pour everything I have into helping people recover, and speak to anyone who will listen, because I know what it's like to feel forgotten, and I know what it's like to come back to life with a purpose. This video isn't about how perfect your story is. It's about realizing you have one, and that someone out there is waiting to hear it. You don't have to be a speaker, an author, or an expert. You just have to be willing to speak from the truth you've lived through, because your story could be the reason someone doesn't give up tonight. Stick around, because I'm going to show you how sharing your recovery story can help you stay clean, inspire others, and unlock the kind of purpose that lasts. Before we dive in, check out the recovery merch in the link below. Every purchase supports the mission and starts a conversation about sobriety. And if you or someone you love is struggling, we've got our free resources on our website to help right now. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so we can reach more people who are living recovered on purpose. When I was newly sober, I started sharing in meetings as I went through the 12 steps. I didn't wait to be a finished product. I just talked about where I was, what I was doing, and how it was changing me. At first, it felt like I was just processing my own growth out loud, but something unexpected happened. People who had decades in the program started coming up to me after meetings. They told me my passion reminded them of how they used to feel. They said watching me put in my work made them want to go deeper again. I was just trying to stay clean, but my story was doing something bigger. And then I noticed the newcomers. They leaned in a little more. They started sharing more honestly. They weren't comparing themselves to someone who had years sober. They were watching someone just a few steps ahead of them fight to get free. That's when it clicked. My story didn't have to be dramatic or polished up. It just had to be real. When you speak from exactly where you are, you give other people permission to do the same. Being transparent created safety. It let others see that recovery isn't about pretending we've made it. It's about showing that we're willing to keep going. That moment changed everything for me, because I realized my story wasn't just helping me. It was waking something up in other people too. Still, I understand why so many people in recovery hold their story back. They think it's not big enough, not wild enough, not tragic enough to make a difference. But that belief is one of the biggest lies addiction leaves behind. The fear of judgment is real. We worry what people will think if they knew the truth. Will they look at me differently? Will they think less of me? But what most don't realize is that the moment you speak honestly, that fear loses power. The shame starts to dissolve when it's brought into the light. And someone out there who thought they were the only one finally feels seen. You don't need a headline-worthy past to help someone. You need honesty, you need courage, and you need the willingness to say, this is who I was, and this is who I'm becoming. The truth is, someone out there is waiting to hear your story. Not mine, not someone else's, yours. Because your voice will reach a person that no one else ever could. Every person who has recovered has a message buried in their journey. You didn't survive just to stay silent. You went through what you did so that someone else wouldn't have to. The more I shared my story, the more I realized how much power addiction had stolen through secrecy. Every time I was honest, I could feel shame losing its grip. Transparency didn't make me weaker, it made me whole. I shared things I used to think I'd take to the grave. The regrets, the things I did to survive, the parts of my past I thought made me unlovable. And the crazy thing, people didn't run. They leaned in. They thanked me. And many of them told me they had been holding in the same kind of pain. I also shared the wins. The first time I paid rent sober, the moment my mom told me she was proud. Even those little victories became part of the story that helped people believe change was possible. When I published my book, not everyone supported me. Some people close to me warned me it would ruin my career or limit my future. But I knew deep down, freedom doesn't come from protecting your image. It comes from owning your truth. So I put it all out there. My darkest moments, my recovery, my faith, everything. I stopped caring what people might think and started caring about who might need to hear it. The moment I stopped filtering myself to be accepted was the moment I stepped fully into my purpose. And I've never once looked back. There was a time during COVID when I was completely alone in my apartment. No meetings, no connections, just silence. It wasn't relapse I was wrestling with. It was something darker. Thoughts of self-harm started creeping in, whispering lies I hadn't heard in years. The isolation was brutal. I wasn't surrounded by chaos or temptation. I was surrounded by nothing. And sometimes that's even harder. When it's just you and your thoughts, the volume of your past can get loud again. And in that moment, what pulled me through wasn't fear of using again. It was remembering the people I hadn't helped yet, the stories I hadn't told, the messages I hadn't answered. I thought about the person scrolling on their phone in the middle of the night, wondering if their life was worth saving. What if I never reached them because I gave up? That idea haunted me more than anything else. Not being around to carry this message felt worse than the pain I was in. My mission gave me something stronger to hold on to. So I got back to work. I recorded a video, I created a resource, I reached out to someone who was struggling, and it brought me back. Purpose is louder than depression. It cuts through the fog. It reminds you that your life isn't just about survival, it's about impact. My story didn't just help others, it saved me. When your life becomes about something greater than yourself, waking up early doesn't feel like a chore. I've been up at 4 a.m. more times than I can count, not because I have to, but because I get to. Every day is another opportunity to help someone who thinks they're too far gone. I've spoken at events for free, traveled across states on my own dime, and stayed long after meetings ended just to sit with the one person too scared to raise their hand. It's never been about recognition. It's always been about responsibility. I was found dead from an overdose, and I'm still here. That means something. This is borrowed time, and I don't take it lightly. I don't question my recovery. I don't worry whether I'll stay clean. What I question every single day is whether I'm doing enough with what I've been given. There are people I haven't reached yet, stories I haven't told, strangers I haven't met, who are still waiting for the message that saved me. I don't need applause. I just need to know I'm walking in purpose. My mission is clear: to show others they're not alone and that their life, just like mine, can be rewritten. Every time I tell my story, I'm not just looking back. I'm building a bridge forward for someone else to cross. That's not pressure, that's purpose. And it's the reason I'm still breathing. If you're in recovery and don't think your story matters, I've got one thing to say: get over it. You don't need to be a polished speaker, write a memoir, or post every detail of your life online. You just need to be willing to open your mouth and talk about one win you had today, even if it feels small. Did you show up when you didn't want to? Make your bed for the first time in a week? Reach out to someone instead of isolating? That's a win. And that's a piece of your story worth telling. You never know who's watching. You never know whose silent battle you could ease just by being honest about your own. The moment you speak openly, you give others permission to do the same. The more you speak truth, the more freedom you create, not just for yourself, but for someone else hanging on by a thread. You don't have to be perfect to be impactful. You just have to be real. Every time you tell your truth about your journey, you take back power from the disease that tried to destroy you. Your voice becomes a light for someone who's still stuck in the dark. Your story is your strength. Don't wait until it's polished to start using it. Be fully you and grow into the real you by sharing. Now it's your turn. Don't wait until you feel ready. Just share one moment from your journey. One win, one lesson, one truth. Say it out loud. Post it. Tell a friend. Someone needs to hear it. And you have no idea how powerful it can be. If you don't know where to start, we've got you covered. There's a link in the description that will help you learn how to share your story in a way that's real, helpful, and true to you. You survived for a reason. Now let someone else know they can too. And as always, continue living recovered on purpose. If you want to watch my TEDx talk, Relapse Prevention Failed, and how we can solve this problem together, you can click right here. Or if you want to go back and do all the 12 steps and learn the entire guide, you can go right here. Hey guys, I have gotten a lot of requests for merch, and you guys see me in this shirt right here, and I went ahead and made them for you to answer these questions. Also, this shop is totally available for you right here. It's the first Recovered on Purpose shop available on our YouTube channel. Would love for you to check it out. And if you like a shirt, go ahead and pick it up. It helps support the channel. But also, if you have any ideas for merch that you think we should do, go ahead and drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas.